The story of two brothers who lived on adjoining farms fell into conflict. It was the first serious rift in 40 years of farming side by side, sharing machinery and trading labor and goods as needed without a hitch. It began with a small misunderstanding, and it grew into a major difference, and finally it exploded into an exchange of bitter words followed by weeks of silence. One morning, there was a knock on the elder brother's door. He opened it to find a man with a carpenter's toolbox. "I'm looking for a few days' work," he said. "Perhaps you would have an odd job here and there." "Yes," said the older brother. "I do have a job for you. Look across the creek at that farm. That's my neighbor's farm. In fact, it's my younger brother. Last week, there was a meadow between us, and he took his bulldozer to the river Levy, and now there's a creek between us. Well, he may have done this to spite me, but I'll show him. See that pile of lumber? I want you to build me a fence, an 8-foot fence, so I won't need to see his face anymore." The carpenter said, "I think I understand the situation." The older brother had to go to town for supplies, so he helped the carpenter to get the materials ready, and then he was off for the day. The carpenter worked hard all day, measuring, sawing, and nailing. About sunset, when the farmer returned, the carpenter had just finished his job. The farmer's eyes opened wide, his jaw dropped. There was no fence there at all. It was a bridge stretching from one side of the creek to the other. A fine piece of work, handrails and all. And the neighbor, his younger brother, was coming across, his hand outstretched. The two brothers stood at each end of the bridge, and then they met in the middle, taking each other's hand and eventually embracing each other. They turned to see the carpenter hoist his toolbox on his shoulder. "No, wait, stay a few days. I've lots of projects for you," said the older brother. "I'd love to stay on," the carpenter said, "but I have many more bridges to build. Every day we have the choice of building fences or bridges. Let's focus on building bridges. If we don't, then we will live in complete isolation, and that's against humanity. So the choice is yours."